Am I a lazy gardener? Not really. I just prioritise things. And July is no exception. Don't let July pass you by, because the jobs that you do now will greatly influence the harvests that you'll be getting in late summer, autumn and winter. In today's video, I have just 12 jobs that if you keep on top of, will keep your garden productive. July might seem like a time to relax. The beds are full, the courgettes are coming thick and fast. But now it's the time to stay focused on the key jobs that need to be done to keep that veg coming through the summer and into autumn. I don't consider myself a lazy gardener, and certainly no-dig plays a big part in the jobs that I have to do. It's not a huge amount of weeding for us to do. No-dig does help to suppress the weeds. It's not to say we're not going to get any weeds, but there is very little for us to pull out. Working smart too. Myself and Mrs. W, we always have a list of jobs that need doing for the month. But they're broken down into weekly jobs. And then we break them down into what really, essentially, needs doing. We try to do this each month for you in our jobs for the month video. And at this time of year, and especially this particular year, it's been so hot in our no-dig Norfolk garden. The temperatures will be well over 30 degrees in this garden again today. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and that's the time that we like to be out in the garden before the heat of the day actually really gets a hold. Mrs. W was out here at about 6:45 this morning, and everything that needed watering has been watered. That helps obviously because the sunshine won't evaporate it so readily. It's not too hot at the moment. It's only about 20 degrees at this moment that I'm speaking. Now for my first job, well, we're here under the bean arch. The runner beans are living up to their name, and they are truly running away. You can see this one has now reached, in fact has gone over the side of the arch. So what I'm going to do now is to just cut the top off. And it's a job you want to be doing as soon as they reach the top of their supports. Just take the growing point out. That will actually encourage them, just like the peas and the beans, to actually send out laterals, and they'll produce more beans in that way. You don't want them to keep concentrating on keep growing upwards all the time. We need things to harvest. And indeed, there are many, many runner beans and French beans that are now coming. Yes, Mrs. W, the madness begins.
It certainly does.
Now this bed has been harvested. We have taken all the harvest. In fact, you saw Mrs. W harvesting the last of the produce in our last video, and I've purposely left the covers off. As you're going around your beds, just make sure you look at your plants and look out for any aphids or anything else that might be on them. It doesn't have to be brassicas. Every single plant in your garden, whenever you're harvesting or you have the covers off to be looking about, just check your plants. In that way you can stop infestations early. These could just be sprayed with a water jet, or you could just rub them off. But if you keep on top of them, then they won't really take over and do damage to your plant. Also, if you need to do something a bit different, like some insecticide spray, you can get in there and spray those. And while you're here, just be on the lookout for any weeds. This is quite clean here, this ground, but I can see there are one or two that are just popping up. So while you're there, just pull them out. And it's as simple as that. Now, the reason why I've left these exposed is not to give the cabbage whites a free meal. It's because I'm now going to remove these plants and this will be immediately replanted, which leads me on to my next tip. From now onwards, you'll be harvesting so much from your garden, and all of these leaves and the stalks, everything, get them onto the compost heap. Now, we haven't talked too much about compost this year because we concentrated on it a lot in our videos last year. But you'll have so much material to be composting. Don't let it go to waste. Get it on your compost heaps and make sure that you've got plenty of compost by the time that you need to use it by November of this year. With brassicas, if you haven't done so already, get them covered. Or your other option is to use something like BT. Whichever way you do it, you need to stop the white cabbage butterfly laying its eggs because they will decimate your plants. We deploy nets over our brassicas, but we also have things like nasturtiums that are dotted about the garden. You can see here where a white cabbage butterfly has visited this nasturtium and has laid its eggs. Nasturtiums are from the brassica family. It likes to lay its eggs on there, so that's become a sacrificial plant. We have to net ours because we have pigeons that circulate our garden and they love nothing better than a nice tasty brassica leaf. They'll be taking chunks out of them. So we have to net all of the time. Make sure that you water plants like celery, beans, peas, courgettes, squash, and of course your toms regularly. These are thirsty plants and they require enough water to keep them going. Also this month, make your last pickings of your rhubarb. You let them grow on from here, and just a bit like you do with your daffodils, you let it continue to grow and it will put the energy back into the crown for next year's harvest. But from time to time you may see a flower stalk appear. Immediately you spot these, cut them down right down to the ground. Good news, folks. We actually have a watermelon that's growing in here. Look at that.
What's our first ever?
Let's hope we can keep that going. I actually prefer watermelons to normal melons, so to be able to grow one in our climate, here in our no dig Norfolk garden is going to be amazing, so we'll keep you posted on that. And if you want to see how we do and you fancy having a go, do make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss anything. Now, when it comes to undercover growing, do make sure that they're ventilated. It's been so hot here that we just leave the doors and windows open all of the time. They are just wide open. We need to get as much air circulation in these spaces as possible. Things aren't looking too bad in here. The plants are growing really quite well. But if it continues, these temperatures continue to climb, it's a really good idea to shade, put some shading over your greenhouse. We're going to put it on, it will be on this side here because the sun is always shining here all day long. But as I say, at this moment in time, the plants are not stressed, they're looking okay. Now, of course, it goes without saying that you need to keep on top of your side shooting. Here is one here. If you don't know what a side shoot looks like, this is the main stem, this is the leaf coming off, and in between is trying to grow a new stem. We don't want those, so we want to remove them.
It looks like I need to tie that tomato plant up again.
Yeah,
they grow so quickly this time of year, don't they? It really does, yeah. Needs to be tied back to the cane.
Yeah, there's another bonus tip for you that we weren't expecting to say. As your plants grow, do make sure that they are tied in. Ones in the polytunnel, they grow up strings. We don't really have the facility to do that in the greenhouse. That's why they have these canes. So as they grow, then do make sure they are tied in. This one's ready to go to this wire at the top here, Mrs. W. Well, it will be. It'll probably grow another 3 inches today.
It probably will.
One of the things that we do try to do each year is to save some of our pepper plants And chili plants, we're not always successful at bringing them all through. But we normally manage to get one or two that we can get out into the borders much earlier. And it's really worth doing that, because if you can, you will get fruit much earlier. These plants that you see here, they're now producing their fruits, but these were sown in this calendar year. Whereas this one, this was one we successfully overwintered. You can see here the fruits are actually now starting to go yellow. It's actually had fruits on it, well, about a week or so after we planted it out here, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, it did.
And so you get the advantage that you'll get a harvest much, much earlier. So even if you only just manage to successfully save one plant and overwinter it, you will get an earlier harvest. And these ones, well, they'll kick in and take over afterwards. One of the tricks that I do use to try and keep this as cool as possible, but also by raising the humidity, is to actually douse the path with water. As the sun comes up and is really shining on here and it gets hot, just get your hose or a watering can and pour some water over the path, and it will help to cool this structure down. These sweet potatoes are doing really well, Mrs. W, and I noticed when I was up here this morning while you were watering that they actually have a flower now appearing on it.
Yes, they have. I'm quite excited for those. They are looking really healthy, aren't they?
Yes. These carrots, Mrs. W, they're already starting to germinate. We only sowed those a week ago.
Yeah, they've come through very quickly, haven't they? Obviously perfect conditions.
You'll often hear me talk about ensuring there is adequate airflow within polytunnels and greenhouses. And you want to do that so that these plants can thrive. They can be open to all sorts of diseases if the airflow is not good. So as well as opening the windows and opening the doors, another thing that you can do is to actually remove these leaves. They're not going to be doing too much more. And you can start to remove them up to the first truss. You can see these tomatoes are forming nicely here. Which one is this one, Mrs. W?
Honeycomb.
Oh, it's honeycomb.
Yeah.
It's honeycomb. So we can remove all of these leaves right up to the first truss. Leaves take on water, and they'll do that to keep themselves going. The side shoot coming up the ground there, Mrs. W. So yeah, remove all of those. Can you also see that there's some little mushrooms growing here?
That's our mushroom compost, isn't it? We've had quite a little harvest of those, actually.
So the tomatoes are really starting to colour up now.
Another couple of bonus mushrooms.
Yes. So do go around all your tomato plants and remove any of the leaves that are not really required anymore. As the next truss then is starting ready to ripen, then just continue to remove those leaves going up the plant as and when it's required. It's really only these upper leaves that are doing a lot of the work for this plant. The ones at the bottom aren't. All they're doing is taking the water and nutrients to keep them going. And yes, I've been enjoying mushrooms on toast for breakfast most mornings. It's free to us. What a bonus! It's important that you keep up with harvesting at this time of the year, because all these will do is get over big and they'll be taking the nutrients and the water from the plant. These three here are ready.
They were hiding.
Were, weren't they?
They were.
Three lovely cucumbers.
Yeah, Cassandra cucumbers.
Yeah, just the right size for us, really, aren't
They're
they?
lovely, yeah.
And that's about the size you want them to get. They'll keep us going for the next week. Of course, don't forget to feed these plants. Once a week, as regular as clockwork, Mrs. W fills a watering can, adds some of our homemade comfrey feed, and give these plants a feed. You know, it's quite intense in here. There's a lot of plants that are growing and they're all vying for those nutrients. And just by giving them a weekly feed, that will help to boost the production that you can get from these plants. But any organic feed that's high in potassium would serve you well. It's just that you have to buy it and we don't. And then for my last tip, still on the subject of feeding, ensure that your vegetables that you're growing in containers are also fed once a week. Ours have been in there now for 5 to 6 weeks. They'll have been using all of the nutrients that we put into there, all of that mushroom compost mixed with our own home compost. So food is going to be starting to run out. Before they get to a point where they're stressed, i.e. leaves going yellow, drooping, struggling to keep alive, just feed them once a week. And in that way, they'll remain nice, lush and green, and they'll give you the harvest that you want. Now do let us know in the comments, what are the jobs you're doing this month? I'm sure there are many more. So am I a lazy gardener? No, I don't think so. I'm a smart gardener, and you need to be too. Don't get yourself all stressed out. Don't think that things are getting on top of you. Now myself, Mrs. W, we're really not a huge amount different to most of you, I guess, watching this video. Our grandchildren are around here quite often, and that's about to ramp up as they now finish school for the summer holidays. They're around here most days then, especially to come and pick my strawberries and my raspberries.
Maggie and Charlie and Rosie.
We both work. There's a limited amount of time that we have to actually spend in the veg garden. Couple that with the blistering heat that we've been experiencing really now for the last couple of months or more. It's not a good idea to be doing lots and lots of things, but just by prioritising the things that really do need doing, the 12 jobs that we've mentioned today, coming out early in the morning and in the early evening when the temperatures are cooler, you'll feel much better about completing these tasks. Anything else, all the other things that you might want to do, Mrs. W wants me to replace fences, she wants our shed painted, she wants lots of things doing. They're just going to have to wait. They are not the most important thing that we need to concentrate on. And if you like this video, do give us a like. And if you think that these job for the month videos and what to sow for each month of the year videos could benefit you and you're watching us for the first time, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then you'll never miss any update that we put out there. Equally, if you know somebody who's into their gardening and maybe could do with a bit of help, then do spread the love. Share this video with your friends, your family, your allotment friends. Share the video and they can benefit from the same advice that you guys are. And don't forget, healthy soil means healthy plants that give you bigger harvests. And if you did miss our what to sow in July video, this is still the beginning of July, then watch this video next.